In this video, I want to go over a very common issue that I see with these from late 1990s all the way up to, early 2000-ish compact SVHS camcorders made by JVC and stuff. And the reason why I'm going over this because I see people do video of these all the time, and every single video I've seen, you hear clicking in the background, clicking as they do their footage and stuff like that. And people think that's normal. That's the way they are. No, these actually, when they were new, were pretty actually silent. You know what I mean? The only thing you should be able to hear is the head spinning up and stuff like that. You shouldn't hear much tape noise, but every single video I see one of these, even people repairing them, you always get the, click, 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 especially in rewind and forward and stuff like that. And it should be relatively quiet. And thankfully, it's not due to cracked gears. As a matter of fact, I actually never see any of these riff cracked gears, even from the late 90s one and stuff like that. They all have good gears. The gears on these are actually really good. And transports are actually pretty reliable on these, reason why I fixed them. Now, this one here, just so you know, the model is a GR-SXM330U. And, of course, it's a compact SVHS camcorder and stuff like that. Now, I'll show you what causes that clicking. And what causes the clicking here is going to be this pendulum gear setup, which, if you turn the mechanism around, and let's say you got your spindle right there, it would be located like this into there, of course, and, it goes back and forth to either turn the, take up or supply reel, of course, and stuff like that, as the, belt, which is right here, from the capstan turns and stuff. It could go either direction. Now, the problem with this and the reason why they fail is because you can see this thing is really dried up. It's pretty tough to turn. And that's the problem. The oil that they use on these ends up turning essentially to glue, gunks up and stuff. And it doesn't allow that pendulum to go back and forth as smoothly, and the capstan struggles trying to turn that and stuff. And the fix for it is, of course, to take this apart, clean off that old lubricant, and then drop little oil on each one of those and put it back together, of course, and stuff. And that will fix and free it up quite a bit. And it'll work like brand new again. Now, the other common issue, and I'm going to go over the e03 that these are also known famous for, is actually, well, this one here is missing it. But, someone tried to fix it and broke it, I guess. But it would have a pinch roller right there. And the pinch roller on these are known to get dirtied and gunked up and stuff. And the way to fix that E03 is literally take the pinch roller out, use rubber rejuvenator, clean it, put it back in, and it should no longer crunch the tape and stuff like that, and it should work normal again. One way to tell, of course, is to take the cover off. If you see, it'll, of course, take the flap off the cartridge, and you'll see the tape core there, and so that's what caused the E03, because it's detecting one of the rotation sensors is not rotating correctly. And that will shut down and throw that E03 error code and stuff, especially through rewind where it actually will exhibit it the worst and stuff. So that's the way to fix that, is to clean the pinch roller. As far as this pendulum gear, that's a lot tougher to fix. Now, you could do it with the cartridge, with the carriage assembly in place. And you can get screwdrivers, one screw there, and remove it. But to put it back on, you got to go and put it back in. And then you do have to take, of course, the mode switch and the Hall sensor board and all that off this thing. And yes, that'll require, of course, making sure it's in time, that the hole on the board's lined up on the mode switch and stuff like that, and that the mechanism is in time when you put it together and stuff, because you have to get access to go ahead and, feed this belt, which would be, this would be kind of sticking out there, and this belt would go here, and it'll be connecting to that pendulum gear setup. So that's a little bit more involved. Now, you could probably try to do it with tweezers and try to get that belt wrapped around. I find it's more easier just to take the whole mechanism out and do it that way, and then you can clean stuff up and also clean the mode switch while you're at it and stuff. But I'm going to go and show you how this mechanism should sound actually working correctly. So we're going to go ahead and fire this up. Okay. Let me go ahead and put power to it, of course. Give me a second. Sorry about that. Okay, it's on. Okay, and then we're just going to, I'm going to show you the way this is supposed to sound. This is after I rebuilt it. And you can see there's the picture. It should be nice and stable once it does the auto tracking. And listen to that. There is absolutely no clicks. And here you go. We'll go ahead and go to fast forward. 0 clicks. We'll go to rewind. And you can see absolutely no clicks. Now we're even going too fast. No. So we'll go ahead and stop. And we'll go to fast forward. That's how one of these should sound. Not like, you know, clicking, clicking, clicking. And of course it's going to slow down as it gets to the end. And we'll go the other direction now. So now we're going in rewind. And you can see there's the counter. The counter should also move nice and freely too. And I'll go and let it rewind pretty much all the way so you can hear it. And you can hear how it goes to the lower speed. And that's the way it should work. Not like every video I've seen of these. And it's the same thing too, I noticed with the Back to the Future one. But here, I'll let you hear it. Let me go ahead and... Hopefully it doesn't got much more. It should only have about, you know, I'm not sure how much is on it. Usually about 3 minutes extra. So we're getting close. It is counting down, but because I turned it off and so forth. So we'll let it go and rewind the tape, and that's normal. Like the last, you know, 4 minutes, 3 minutes and stuff, it slows down so it doesn't rip the tape. Hopefully it'll stop soon. And that's how that mechanism should sound. You shouldn't hear any clicking whatsoever from that mechanism. It should be nice and smooth like the Panasonics there. What you have to do is take that pendulum gear out, oil it, and clean your pinch roller and stuff, and it'll be good as new pretty much. And of course you might as well just service all the switches and clean all that and everything else while you have it apart, of course. Now it does require full disassembly of the camcorder. And that you have to take the main board. You got to take all these covers to access the hidden screws, because there's hidden screws on the top here for the lens cover. You got to unclip that, remove that, and then there's going to be a hidden screw for this back battery assembly, which you got to pull out because there's screws at 1, 2 right there, and then there's one hidden right there to get this whole entire transport out and stuff like that. So it's involved to take these apart and stuff like that. But I want to do that because it kind of annoys me watching videos of these, and every single one I hear click, 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 and none of them actually sound right. And it's the same thing even the Back to the Future camcorder, which is going to be a whole nother video on itself. I always hear when people load the tape and unload the tape, you hear like it's struggling, ready to die. Even people say, oh, I refurbished it completely. And then they go ahead and, you know, put a tape in there, and the thing sounds like it's about to die and croak and stuff. No, it should be nice and smooth. What happens with those, though, is there's actually, you know, pretty much a ring gear. And then you actually got bearings that go around that hold it in place. And those bearings themselves seize onto the shaft and stuff like that. So it's not moving as free, and that's what causes the motor struggle on those and stuff. I'll have to do a separate video on how to rebuild one of those transport properly to get those sounding good, and it should sound nice and fast and smooth. It shouldn't sound like it's struggling, ready to die. And that's the same thing with this. You shouldn't hear no clicking and stuff. So I'm going to go and get this all the way back together, and I'll be back once I'm done. So something else that you want to go ahead and do too with these is to change this battery right here, because eventually they will leak, and then when they leak, it'll probably cause damage to the board, and of course it's going to be a parts camera then. So that's another thing that you may want to go ahead and change too while you're at it and stuff. And here's pretty much, this is the main PCB. You do got to remove this. You got to remove all the cables, of course, into the head preamplifier, to the mode switch, to that's to the capstan motor and so. So you got to remove all the screws. You do got to remove this back here, which is held in by 2 screws there, and then there's a clip on top and the bottom, and that comes out there. There's a screw there holding the board in, and one there that you got to remove. And then you'll be able to get the board out there, and then there's one screw holding the shield down that covers the head wires for the video signal and stuff to shield it. You do got to remove that, and you can get this whole PCB board out. Once you do that and you got the buttons that we remove, then you can remove the one screw on the side there. There's one screw that's behind this here that you got to remove, and then the one I showed you that's right there on the other side, you do have to have the LCD and everything out to do that, and then you can get access to the transport and stuff. But either way it goes, I'm going to go and get this all the way back together, and I'll show you it once it's all the way fully reassembled. So here's the JVC compact SVHS camcorder fully reassembled. And you can see here, this is what it would look like fully reassembled. So I'll go in and show operation now that it's fully repaired. So we'll go ahead and do play. And this tape was recorded in a Panasonic, actually, Camcorder. You can hear the audio clearly. And then we go ahead here, go forward. And we'll go fast. But mainly, you can hear how quiet that transport is. The only thing you hear is the heads. You should not hear no clicky clacky. The transport should be nice and silent. Okay. And then you can see pause. And then we'll go stop. And we'll go fast forward. And you can hear, and we'll go play. And you can see it's working correctly now. Alright, we'll go rewind. And you can hear the transport's pretty quiet. I mean, yeah, there's going to be, of course, noise in the rewind and forward, but no clicking. And I'll let it rewind all the way. And I'll let the auto stop kick in. Yeah, and there's damaged spots on this tape. That's why it's a test tape. And that's how it should sound. And then we'll go ahead and do the ejector, of course. And I know people want to. And that's after the transport's fully built And you can see in there what it looks like. Of course, that's your linear audio head, that's your video head. And you can see where that pendulum gear and how it's supposed to sit in there, of course. See if I can get a better angle in it. That's what it would look like. There's one screw there, black one, and there's one down here that holds that whole assembly in. So there you go. This one's fully repaired, and this pretty much, let me go ahead and put this right like this, concludes the video for this JVC compact SVHS camcorder.